Hello everyone, this is Kweku from Next Gen Windows, and in this video, it's a sad video. I am thinking about switching away from Windows Phone to iOS, not Android, but to iOS, and there's a few reasons why. Now, starting off with the general reason of why I want to switch from Windows Phone to iOS is because of the lack of support from so many companies. So many companies have, dropped out of either updating their apps or not making apps at all, or coming out with accessories for things, or just a bunch of things that so many companies don't support. I wanted to get a bunch of these little like prototype devices from Kickstarter and things like that, and so many of them are not releasing Windows Phone applications. I don't know why. They say that there's not enough attention to Windows Phone, so they won't release anything for that platform. It's pretty sad. And another thing is the reason why I'm not switching to Android, for one, is because I have an Android device. It is the let me take a look. It is the Galaxy Tab S. So I can get it unlocked. There it is. It is the Galaxy Tab S. I have this is the newest Android device. It's 2560 by 1600 resolution, and it looks really nice and everything and all. And I used to have even the Transformer Prime, the Asus Transformer Prime Android tablet. I was never into really Android from the get-go. I was more into iOS and Windows. And then I also have as my main runner device the Windows Phone, the Lumia 1020. And this is a really good device. The camera is phenomenal. I've been taking plenty of photos with it, although I do have a DSLR sitting there on my bed. I'm not sure if you can see it. See, there it is. Or you can even just look at my screen. And another thing is a lot of websites, especially Google, their lack of support for the platform. Me being someone who does YouTube videos, it's kind of tough when Google's not allowing anything really to pass through their stuff. They're even downgrading their website for Windows Phone platform. So if you can see here, this is Gmail, or this is Google pretty much in general. Gmail, Google services on Windows Phone. It does look nice. They just updated it from the super crappy like mobile web page that they used to have. It was like the generic one that you used on flip phones and feature phones. Everything was so small, you had to zoom in to be able to do stuff. It was really bad, and they just recently updated it to their one that's before the one you see on the right here, which is what you see on Android and iOS and things like that when you go to their mobile website. It's good. It's functional. This mobile website is functional. It's lagging a little bit. I can't scroll, but yeah, it's functional and all. If I can go to say social, and you can see here it's functional and all. When you click on things, say Adobe Photoshop group on LinkedIn, if I click on that, it'll load up things perfectly like that. I can zoom out slightly. Actually, no, I can't zoom out. I can just scroll over and things like that. It works, but unfortunately, Google just refuses to support Microsoft platforms in general. They have a Google search app for Windows Phone and for Windows 8. But even that's not that great compared to their counterparts on iOS and things like that. In fact, let me see if I have the Google search app here. Let me see. Google. No, I have Google Mail, which is not what you think it is. It's just regular, Windows Phone Mail that happens to be my Google account. And then on the right here, you have Android, their main platform right there. You can see what they support, everything fully right there. It's just lack of Google support, lack of support in general. Like the main gist of it is lack of support, period. Developers aren't really supporting it unless they are enthusiasts. There's really no major developers that are trying to carry their things over. In fact, maybe I can go to the Google Play Store and maybe we can take a look. So we have here the Destiny companion application here. This just came out with the release of Destiny on PS4 and Xbox One. And then they don't have a Destiny application for Windows Phone. They have a third-party one. Where is it? Let's see if I can find it. They have a Destiny third-party one. It's called Destiny Stats. Now, think about this. Think about this not inside your own body, but think about if you were just a random person that goes to Best Buy and they're looking for a new phone, or go to AT&T and they're looking for a new phone. They said, hey, Windows Phone is there. Let's take a look at that. And they try to search for it. Maybe they're interested in video games, but they're not interested in anything else specific from Windows Phone. When they search for Destiny, what you expect to search for Destiny, you expect to see, the Destiny companion app. Now, let's go back to the Android Play Store here and see, I search for Destiny right there, and the first thing that comes up is Destiny from Bungie Inc. Most people who know about Destiny, they know that it is from Bungie Inc., and they know that, Destiny came out with a companion app, so everything is there for Destiny Inc. I mean, Bungie Inc. So you click on it, and it's the official application, Destiny companion app. However, you search for this on Windows Phone, you see right there on the left, the first thing that comes up is Destiny Stats, Doom and Destiny, Spear of Destiny. And maybe if you just hit search and you don't bother looking at the suggested results, the main thing even there is, the first result is Doom and Destiny, which when you click on it, it's not even Destiny. This is Strange Events Bring 4 Nerdy Friends. It's a game, because there's no official Destiny application. There's Destiny Stats. Destiny Stats is an unofficial application that maybe does even better than the Destiny main one that is on Android and iOS. But it's just, I'm not saying just because of this one application I'm switching. I'm saying because of the lack of support from even this major company here. Bungie was, built Halo, and Halo was exclusive to Microsoft's platform, Xbox. Yet there's no support on any of Microsoft's platforms at all. Obviously they have the game for Xbox One, but there's no support for Microsoft's platform at all in terms of building the app for it, which is pretty sad when they're the one. Microsoft is like the parent, not really parent, but they're the ones that help push, and let Bungie grow and prosper. To become popular, Bungie needed Microsoft, so Microsoft helped them out, and Bungie became big. And now Bungie's doing their own thing. They're doing pretty great. Destiny's gotten super good scores. I played it, but lack of support. Destiny Stats versus Destiny Companion app. If you were looking on if you were looking on both of these platforms and you were looking to see, do they have this application, you wouldn't even know Destiny Stats is even Destiny unless you look closely at the logo that is right there. And the reviews, the reviews are good. The app crashes after entering Xbox Live gamer tag. It's good enough, but Bungie's still not considering making a Windows Phone app because they don't see the point. They don't see the point of the lack of. Because the thing about Windows Phone is, developers don't see the point in building for Windows Phone because they don't see the market share of Windows Phone. At the same time, because Windows Phone's market share is really low because of lack of support from developers. So it's like a hand-in-hand thing, and without one, you can't have the other. And because none of them are really working with each other, you can't have anything, and therefore it's kind of dropping like a rock. Yes, they do both have their Google experiences. This has Google Now, and this has Cortana, which is right here. They both work pretty well. Instagram, for one, the main apps like Instagram, Facebook, they're all there. Vine, it's there on Windows Phone. Everything is there that most people will need. But because they hear the perception of Windows Phone, they hear about, oh, I've heard bad things about it, or it doesn't have many apps, or it doesn't have what I need. Whether or not they've actually looked into the platform, they've actually tested out a Windows Phone and looked for those stuff, I don't know, but the perception behind it is what's keeping people away from it. And I guarantee most people who actually, sure, they hear the perception of Windows Phone, which is bad. When they actually try out the phone and take a look at what is there to offer, what it has to offer, they would actually take it. So for me personally, I've tried Windows Phone for 3 years. I've been with it since Windows Phone 7 came out. Windows Phone 7 series came out, and then they switched it to Windows Phone 7. Then I had Windows Phone 7.8, the update, and then I switched to 8 with my 8X, and then I switched over to 8.1 around a couple months before 8.1 come out. I got this right here. I got the Lumia 1020. So I've had a Focus Flash, I've had an 8X, and I've had a 1020, which is my current main device. But I think I'll be going over to iOS, whether it's permanently or whether it is until I see more support on Windows Phone side. I'll be going over to iOS as my main device. I'll still do the channel same way as before, and supporting developers, helping them out on their app review, doing app reviews on their apps, almost like a proofreading of their application. I'll still help out and do all that stuff and do Microsoft News and stuff. Only thing is, I won't be using this as my main runner device. It's gotten a lot of attention about the crazy camera that it has and the colors since it's so vibrant, but unfortunately, that's what I'm gonna have to do. So maybe by Christmas time-ish, when they have more iPhones in stock, iPhone 6 Pluses in stock, I want the largest one. I will pick one of those up, and maybe I'll even do a comparison between maybe the 1520, or maybe even just this phone and the iPhone 6 Plus. Hand in hand, what's good, what's bad, everything like that. It'll still be Microsoft centered, but that's just how it'll be. This has been Kweku from Next Gen Windows. Sorry for this kind of downbeat video, but hey, what can you do? I'll catch you guys later. Peace.